Hi guys, how are you?
Hi.
It's Dan and Elaine
Hi guys.
in Bami Banus. The sun's just going down, and just before we fly home tomorrow, we thought you'd shoot you another commercial beach club session. Because a few people reached out from the last one and they said they enjoyed it, so and they've tagged themselves in. So if you want to see some more, what to do is tag yourself in below, and we'll shoot some more beach club sessions about everything commercial property. And if there's something in regarding commercial property, you know, that you can't quite get your head round, or you'd like to know a little bit more about, then put it in the comments below, and maybe we'll shoot a little video on that. Because if you've got a question, it's most likely somebody else has either got that question or doesn't even know to ask that question. So put it in the comments below, and we'll see if we can shoot a video in the coming weeks. But today, what is today about, babes?
Today is about adding value.
Well, today it's about the ABCs. So today is all about the ABCs of commercial property. And we're going to split that into 3 videos because we want these videos to be short and sweet, little bite-sized chunks. So the first one's about adding value, as we say. And you know, when you're in commercial property, it's why we call it ABCs, is because our strategy, commercial property in its purest form, is all about simplicity. And when we talk about, you know, the ABCs, adding value, buying value, and compounding value, you know, really doing that in its simplest form is the safest and the fastest route to cash flow as well. And remember, property, commercial property is all about cash flow. And as Warren Buffett said, that, you know, a bird in the hand is worth more than 3 in the bush. Now, what does that mean? Well, in a nutshell, what it means is you don't have to get involved in, if you have no experience in commercial conversions, you know, there's nothing wrong with them, but if you have no experience, it can be an absolute minefield. It can be incredibly dangerous. And to put your retirement funds, your SAS retirement fund at stake, to either into a project that you have no experience about, that has a lot of moving parts, and potentially have to be subordinated behind the bank, which is absolutely, you know, maybe not the best idea. As long as you're doing it with somebody who has experience, or you have experience, it's fine. But I like to keep things really simple. And what we like to do in commercial property is add value by coffees and chats instead of construction and contracts. Now, there's a simple asset management strategy in commercial property that can really force values really fast and within the shortest time frame, and also produce cash flow day one instead of risking your money, your retirement SAS money, down the road on projects where you don't know what the GDV is going to be, you know, whether you're going to be 10 on base level, you know, 10% down, 20% down, and it could be 18 months down the road. So why not have a look at commercial property where you can create cash flow day one and add value without those moving parts and the risky elements. Now, I suppose a little metaphor for this is a story I heard recently, and I absolutely love it. And it's about the Americans, the NASA space race. And when they were doing the Apollo missions, NASA, believe it or not, they had a problem. You know, how do you fill in reports up in space? So they had to develop a pen that would write in zero gravity, upside down, back to front, and all that kind of thing. Now, the 12 NASA scientists, believe it or not, spent $3 million developing this pen, and it does what it says on the tin. It's amazing. It writes upside down, it writes in zero gravity, which is cool. But, you know, that's a lot of moving parts. It's akin to commercial conversions, akin to developing. There's a lot of moving parts. It took a couple of years to develop that pen, a team of 12, and $3 million, and they never knew when they started if they were going to get a result. Now, in comparison, in commercial property, you can do a simple approach. And a simple approach was adopted, but not by the Americans. Now, what did the Ruskies do, babes?
Well, they never had the millions to spend, so they just took a pencil.
Isn't that incredible? So the Americans, you know, used their best engineers on the planet to come up with this amazing solution. And there was a simpler solution to achieve the same aim, which the Ruskies just took pencils with them.
Yeah,
and I find that amazing. You know, that's a great metaphor for how to keep things simple in life. And we like to do that with commercial property. People that are just coming into the space, you want to create cash flow day one, and you want to increase the value to decrease increase the equity, the value, which increases your equity, but it also decreases the risk because you're lowly geared or less geared than you were at the beginning. Now, that's what it's all about for me. And one of our clients called Nilesh is the epitome of this kind of strategy. He's embraced it, he's taken it on. He's done 3 transactions, but let me tell you about the middle transaction. It completed in January the 16th, and Nilesh, when he was doing this deal, they bought it for cash, him and a couple of investors, had it refinanced out within 8 weeks. But more importantly, I think it took about 3 months. So 3 months of coffees and chats, and he increased the value from 300,000 to 388,000, in that range. So nearly a 30% increase in value was attributed to just pure, simple commercial property strategies called asset management. And that's a strategy that we love, and it's a strategy that we teach newcomers into the kind of game of commercial. And why? Because we're buying income streams, we're buying existing income, and we're adding value to that income to increase the equity and decrease the risk. Now, if that sounds something of interest, then type in dansclass.com, go to your browser, and just type in dansclass.com, and it would be great to potentially look at working together in the future. But if you just want to know more, type in dansclass.com, go there, and
Watch a couple of videos.
yeah, we've got a free workshop there that you can have a look, and we'll pull back the layers, the goodies, the insights on some 3 clients in there have done deals, and we go through them case studies and tell you the numbers and tell you how they found them and what they've done with them. And but anyway, coming back to the simplicity of commercial property and the adding value, this is really in a nutshell. If you're a SaaS trustee and you're dealing with your retirement fund, this is live. But if you're a SaaS trustee and if you're dealing with your retirement fund, your next generation's inheritance legacy, and you've got to be a custodian of that, then you really owe it to yourself to learn more about commercial, but learn more about the simplest forms, the purest forms of commercial, where you can buy existing income streams and you can add value to those income streams. And so we welcome you to type in dansclass.com, dansclass.com. Go and have a look at the workshop. If it's of interest, then put in the comments below if that was cool, and if there's any other questions, put them in the comments below, and tag yourself then if you want to hear about some more commercial property insights.
Yeah.
And if you find this of interest, and you know anybody else who has a SaaS or a business owner or somebody who has an existing residential property investment or portfolio that may want to look at adding to that the commercial asset class, then perhaps share this with them, and we look forward to speaking to you soon. So anyway,
Bye from me.
yeah, and bye for me, and we look forward to chatting to you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.